We're going to help Mikey and Raul do a liner today. We shot a UV liner yesterday. We're going to be doing a hot water cure today. All right, hydrojetter. U-Haul, don't even answer their phone. Small businesses, man, you got to answer your phone. Let's try another one.
Please leave your message for...
U-Haul listed a phone number for a hair salon. We're not off to a good start. Let's try another one. I wonder how much business U-Haul loses in a day.
U-Haul, this is Ben.
Hey, Ben, do you guys do propane?
No, this is just the U-Box warehouse, unfortunately.
Hope this is not a sign of how the day's gonna go today. Hey, do you guys do propane refills?
No, this at a U-Haul Center, 202 McClintock or 101 in Apache.
Okay, thank you. Probably about 20 minutes. I'm at U-Haul right now waiting for somebody to help me. So, okay, yeah, I'll be there shortly. Oh my God, it's so much heavier when it's full. Advice for business owners that want to get into lining any type of a trenchless, whether it's pipe bursting, coating, lining, point repairs. You know, there's the number one question I probably get is, you know, what does it cost to get into lining? And I always tell people that the cost of the equipment and getting into lining is a fraction of the cost of the learning curve and the cost for education, because you're gonna stumble, you're gonna have issues that you're gonna have to fix. We chose to do that at our own cost and not charge additional to the customer. So the startup cost for equipment isn't that much compared to what it's gonna take to train people, and the cost to scale a trenchless business, because it's not a traditional plumbing company. So traditional plumbing company just buys a van, some inventory, some equipment like a snake, maybe a camera. But a lining company, you start needing more descaling machines. You need cameras, additional cameras. Sewer cameras, they're not designed how we use them in the trenchless world, which is, you know, they may be installed and removed in a sewer pipe 20 to 30 times on one job in one day. So they break faster, and so you need backup cameras so that when one's getting repaired, you're not, you know, bottlenecking the production. So, you know, scaling a trenchless business is definitely a lot more expensive than a traditional plumbing company would be. So just be prepared that as you scale growth, you know, the equipment, it just continues to pile on. You need, you know, a good descaling set of descaling equipment, between a mini miller, super midi, chains, adapters, heads, reinstatement heads, whatever. It could be between 15 and 20,000 bucks. Then you add a camera, 12 to 13, 14,000 bucks with a locator, a monitor, a good rigid camera, a vehicle, a wrap, inventory, iPad, uniforms, training. It's just a different animal, but the margins are great, and the ability to deliver a product to a customer that not everybody can deliver, it's a pretty good feeling. I feel like, you know, this part of the industry, you're actually doing really good for the customer. Hardly ever get price complaints. You hardly ever have, you know, refunds, warranty issues, all the things that a traditional plumbing company has to go through to be able to build reviews. You know, it's a lower volume, but a much higher quality customer. In my opinion, it fixes a lot of the industry problems. So we're a low volume, high ticket, high margin business model, meaning I don't need as many CSRs in the office, dispatchers, vehicles, plumbers. So it fixes a lot of problems in the industry that my competition's having that are traditional plumbing companies. a company that does our revenue would probably have 3 to 4 people answer the phones. We can get away with one because we're, again, low volume, high ticket, high margin business model. I was thrown into the industry of plumbing. You know, I was not good in high school. My dad figured that out pretty quick and realized that I was probably not going to make it in this world academically. And so I remember standing at my locker in high school one day. I skipped school constantly. My grades were terrible. I was there for the social aspect of school. And I remember standing in my locker one day and my dad comes up and tells me to grab my stuff, that he had checked me out of school. And for about 5 seconds, I didn't really know what the heck that meant. I asked, "What do you mean you checked me out of school?" He's like, "You're done. You're going to work. You're no longer in high school." And at that point, I tried to negotiate my way out of it and said, "Dad, no, I'll go to school. I'll get my grades up. Give me one last shot." And the answer was no. So I next day went to work, and I was already familiar with the industry because, I mean, when you're a single dad growing up, you know, you work weekends, you work summers. So I was I knew what I was getting into. I knew it was going to be hard work. So I went to work with my dad and my grandfather and started basically from the ground up, working right out of high school. Did that for about 3 years with my dad, and thought I knew everything at that point. So I went to work for a local franchise and stayed with them for a little while. Moved out of Tucson to Phoenix, went to work for a company called George Brazil. Stayed there for quite a while. That's where I felt like my career started to really feel like this is what I wanted to do, residential service and repair work. So I stayed with that company for a while, moved to Dallas, went to work for another franchise, and I worked for companies probably the first 15 years. Passing an accident. Looks like it might have just happened not that long ago. My dad basically forced me into the industry, which at the time I thought was my life was over. I'll never be able to do anything again. And looking back 32 years later, your parents know what they're doing. It was the best decision that my dad could have ever made for me and my brother. My brother's a plumber also. And so, I've never looked back, man. It's really the only job I've really ever had. 32 years. I decided to start a company at one point, around 2012, 13. And I ran that for a couple years, sold it to a big company here in town, went to work for them, left that company, started another one, and that's where we're at today at Zippity Split. We got about 20 employees. We'll do probably around 5.5 million-ish this year. And our KPIs that we track, I feel like we got a pretty strong team. What's up?
What's cracking?
This is my buddy Josh. He owns a company here called The Plumber. I'm his best friend, his mentor, his business coach, his advisor, his counselor, his life coach. What else do I do for you?
Nothing really.
And in return, I don't even get an invite to the lake, nothing. You ready, man? Let's go make some money. Hey, we're out in Mesa, Arizona. We're gonna be doing a liner at this house for a customer with our guys Mikey and Raul. We're gonna show you why Zippity Split, we can't afford a hose or a washer for our water hose. Come check it out. A 28-cent hose washer.
we're missing it.
So Mikey Wood and his team, they descaled this line yesterday. This actually is a duplex, so there's 2 lines coming out of the building. We shot about a 39-foot, 3-inch UV liner we cured yesterday, and today we're gonna do about the same. It's almost exactly the same footage, about 39 feet. And so these guys descaled, just got through jetting it, prepping the pipe, and got most of the UV stuff set up. So we're gonna take a look and see if this pipe's actually ready for the liner to be installed. Still 3-inch going past that? It looked like it was. Yeah. How many reinstatements does this one have? Are you stopping at that one right there?
That's how James pipe, oh yeah. Because that one I did down and back and it was
Yeah, I know.
at 2.
Yeah, but they're not the same pipe. So the problem we're having is that the scale at the bottom of this pipe is not coming out as easy as we want it to with the descaling machine. So we're doing one more pass to try to get as much of that out so that when we blow the liner in, it's a perfectly round product that we're giving to the customer as a final video. So we're gonna do another pass with the mini miller right now. We're gonna jet it one more time and then re-camera it to make sure that the pipe is completely cleaned.
Yeah, this guy doesn't eat hamburgers.
You don't?
Yeah.
They're like my daughter doesn't really either, but my wife definitely doesn't. Do you eat meat though?
Yeah.
Oh, just not hamburgers?
It's just the texture.
It's a Yuma thing.
Oh.
No, I'm kidding. Tacos Chivas is only 1.2 miles. That place is the shit. That's what we're doing. We always go to the one in Phoenix on Indian School. So I think most guys, when they're doing a UV liner, they're doing what's called a glue end on the liner. So basically, we glue this calibration tube on the end of the liner. So once we wet it out with the resin, we'll cut off the slack, tie a knot on this, and then this will actually hold the liner with air pressure until it cures. Once it cures, then this clear cal tube is going to tear away and come out of the system. We throw it away, and then you're left with a new pipe inside of the old pipe. So these guys already got this one glued on. We're just checking it to see what it looks like, but it looks pretty strong, and I think we're gonna roll with it. So we went ahead and ran the descaling machine one more time at a much higher speed, and that was able to get that last little bit of descale off. We jetted it out, and we're going to start cutting material. Well, look, they actually already did cut the material, so we're going to start prepping this liner with the resin, getting it shot in, cured, everything put back together, and these boys are going to get home a little early today. I probably shouldn't have said that because now I jinxed them. We usually don't talk about that till after the job's over. So if you want to start getting into the plumbing industry, in Arizona, the licensing laws are very lax for a person coming into the trade. So for a guy that had zero experience coming to work at Zippity Split, we could train you how to do what we do, which is strictly sewer lines, in less than a year. So you would learn pipe lining, pipe coating, pipe bursting, and then reassembling the system back together. We can teach you that in a year. A traditional service plumber, that process could take 3 to 4 years because you really got to start to learn how to diagnose. You've got to understand what's behind the walls, because once you're in the service world, drywall's up, paint, tile, everything's behind. You can't see it. So you got to have a pretty good understanding of where that stuff is at. But in this world of service plumbing today, there's a lot of niches and a lot of specialty guys. So, you know, you could really get into the industry and within 1 to 2 years learn a niche and start making 6 figures in no time. And our apprentices will make between, $50,000 and $60,000 a year to come out here and learn how to make 6 figures. And so we feel like the opportunity right now to get into the trades is better than it's ever been, in my opinion. You know, when I started 30 years ago, you kind of had to learn every aspect of plumbing before somebody would give you an opportunity. And then that would take, you know, a long time, 3 or 4 years. I mean, you couldn't even get a job without a minimum of 2 years. So I really like how the industry is going towards specialty services and being able to turn out plumbers faster than we ever have in the past, in my opinion. Nice thing about UV, especially in Phoenix, Arizona, is that, you know, we're not under a time crunch like we are when we're hot water curing or steam or ambient curing our resin. So, you know, the UV for us in the summer has been huge so that there's no rushing. We can take our time. There's a lot of benefits to it, but we're still fairly new into getting comfortable using it on a consistent basis. So we might stumble through the day, but we'll get it done. We got realistic Ralph with us today instead of negative Nancy, so I feel like it's going to be a good day. So right now these guys are just covering up this window because we don't normally use this drum for the UV, but we had like a 100-foot liner going in this morning also, and the guys needed the bigger trailer for that one. So we're in a little bit of a crosshairs. We just started building this trailer out for hot water only. We're going to transform the other trailer into UV only. So we're in a little bit of a transition period because this trailer is only about 85% done. So we were playing musical equipment this morning.
You bring that any higher for me? I'm kidding.
So right now they're just pouring the resin into the material. We call this wetting out the material. And we're going to calibrate it. We're going to then roll it into the drum, which you'll see here in a minute, and then we're going to invert it into the pipe. So this is the first step of many. Throw me a couple, Mikey, too, so I can help.
They're larges. So.
That's all right. So we're calibrating this resin into the liner right now so that it meets the manufacturer's specs, and make sure we've got the proper amount every foot so that it's consistent throughout the whole curing process. That one too. You forgot how to use it, Mikey?
I've already used this one. I started with this one. You kidding me?
Scissors.
You want to angle like that?
That looks pretty decent, don't you think?
Yeah.
I put the head on, yeah.
This will still turn on even if that's not on.
Huh?
This should still turn on if that's not on, right?
Go give me a hammer. 4 pounds?